James Gunn claims that the reveal in episode 6 of Peacemaker Season 2 will be huge.
After extensive research and analysis of hints from the show, we have 4 possible explanations as to what that reveal will be, and each of them will change the course of the DCU forever!
Do you really wanna, do you really wanna taste it?
This season of Peacemaker has focused heavily on Peacemaker's quantum unfolding chamber. And I think that Rick Flag is willing to go to any means necessary in order to bring down Peacemaker, even if it means consulting Lex Luthor, an expert in the matter. At the end of episode 2, Rick Flag says that he needs to speak to an inmate at Belle Reve Prison. While it's very likely that this could have been Judo Master, there's also a chance that I think he went and he spoke to Lex Luthor. I don't see why he wouldn't speak to someone who knows so well about interdimensional travel when he's looking for Peacemaker, who has something very similar to what Lex Luthor used in the Superman movie. I think it makes a lot of sense if Rick Flag at the very least spoke to Lex Luthor. And with the recent announcement of the Man of Tomorrow movie, we know that Lex Luthor will be a major player in the DCU moving forward, as that movie will be a team-up film between Lex Luthor and Superman. From teaser images posted by James Gunn, we know that Lex Luthor will be featured in his power suit. So I think it makes a lot of sense if sometime before the movie, Lex Luthor gets out of prison and builds his power suit, so we're able to see that before the Man of Tomorrow movie comes out. We also know that there has to be some large connection between Peacemaker Season 2 and Superman, much larger than the small Justice Gang cameo that we saw in Episode 1. James Gunn rushed the release of Superman onto HBO Max so that it could be out before Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 6. It's very likely that the reveal that he's been hinting at is a link between Superman and Peacemaker Season 2. We also know that these 2 projects both filmed at the same time at the same place from leaked set photos of David Corenswet and John Cena together. We also know that one scene from Superman where Lex Luthor deliberates with government officials was filmed right before a Peacemaker scene because James Gunn said it featured many of the same cast characters, but he refused to elaborate on who all was there, meaning it's very likely that Lex Luthor appears in Peacemaker, as that is the only major character that I could see as a spoiler appearing in Peacemaker.
Peacemaker is 100% in some sort of racist universe, whether it's the one from the comics World X where the Nazis won, or it could be just some James Gunn created universe, but it's 100% racist, and there's 3 reasons why. Number 1, there's no people of color in the background, and this, for a huge studio, is just not going to happen on accident. 2, the Sons of Liberty are in the comics, and they are an anti-governmental protest group. They come in and say, the government has strayed too far from the Constitution. So I think that they're actually protagonistic in this show rather than antagonistic, as they seem to Peacemaker when he killed them all. So looking back, he's going to be like, oh man, that was messed up. And lastly, there is a swastika-esque logo that is appearing all over Peacemaker's house. I bet when they cut to the White House or go to DC or something, there's going to be like banners coming down with this swastika-esque circle square looking thing, and then Peacemaker's gonna have a funny reaction when he realizes it's all over his shirt that he's been wearing for the past 4 days. So there's 2 main things that I predict will happen. Number 1, evil Superman, of course, and possibly good Lex Luthor. As Jackson mentioned earlier, Lex Luthor is supposed to be good in the next film, so maybe it's going to be a team up with Lex Luthor from this universe and our Superman together to maybe conquer this dimension or conquer Lex Luthor in the current dimension. Secondly, I think there's going to be a scenario where Adebayo enters through the portal and interacts with Peacemaker's brother. Peacemaker's brother is, of course, going to try and kill her, and Peacemaker himself is going to be in a scenario where he has to choose who he wants to survive, Adebayo or his brother. This time, giving him the ability to choose to kill his brother. This is going to be a huge character development for not only Adebayo, who her storyline has kind of hinted at maybe she's not ready for this spy field, and this is her opportunity to prove herself and go through the portal, take the risk, but then maybe she's going to realize, you know what, maybe I'm not cut out for this, and goes back to her wife and lives in Gotham. We'll touch more on that later, as her wife mentioned that they previously lived there. But then Peacemaker's going to have the opportunity to choose to kill his brother, to say, you know what, there's really no such thing as a life that's better than yours. shout out J. Cole, shout out Peacemaker. It's going to be a huge character development opportunity for the kid.
We already know that Zolo Maridueña's Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle will be returning in the DCU, as James Gunn has confirmed this. However, we still are unaware of what remains canon from the Blue Beetle movie. I think that James Gunn is going to want to clear up the canonicity of his new universe much before he gets too deep into it. So I think Blue Beetle will also be making an appearance sometime during Peacemaker. In the comics, Peacemaker has acted as a sort of mentor figure for Blue Beetle. I think it'd be a very interesting dynamic to explore in Peacemaker to show how much Chris has developed during the events of the show. I think it'd be a great way to show his character development and show that he's now able to help mentor a young hero, showing that he has become a true hero himself. In addition to this, Peacemaker has featured many characters from Charlton Comics, a former comic brand that was then merged with DC, and DC has used many of their characters. These characters in the show include Peacemaker and Judo Master. James Gunn was asked if they'd be seeing any more Charlton comic characters, and he told the reporter that they might be in luck. So I find it very likely that some Charlton comic character would be appearing in the show. This makes it possible for us to see mainstay players in the DC, such as Captain Atom or The Question, but I think it's very likely that Blue Beetle will be appearing, who is also a Charlton comic character. This would imply that Ted Kord's Blue Beetle will be appearing. However, I think it could either be Ted Kord or Jaime Reyes. I think Blue Beetle as an IP might be what he was speaking of. So I find it very likely that we'll be seeing at least some sort of Blue Beetle in Peacemaker Season 2.
James Gunn said that there are huge stars in this show. And he mentioned that if he tells you, he has to kill you. So who in the world could it possibly be? Well, as I mentioned earlier, Gotham is confirmed in the DCU with Adebayo's wife previously living there. And with Clayface coming out, I think that James Gunn's master plan is to reveal something related to Gotham to get as much hype as possible. He is a master marketer, and I believe that Batman will show up in Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 6. Here's why. First, we need some backstory on everyone's favorite bionic baddie, Sasha Bordeaux. In the comics, she is a huge part of none other than Batman's story. She is actually Batman's head bodyguard, assistant to Lucius Fox. In the comics, over time, she finds out Bruce Wayne's secret identity and, of course, becomes his love interest. Well, actually, she loves Batman, but he doesn't love her back because he's dating this girl. But then this girl dies, and Bordeaux gets framed for the murder, goes to jail, and over time, Batman realizes it wasn't her and tries to set her free. And all this thing spirals. Honestly, it's a really long storyline. But Bordeaux eventually gets out of jail in a Suicide Squad-esque fashion. She goes to the Secret Service called Checkmate, similar to Argus, and she works for the government and is injected with this secret serum that turns you into a cyborg. Now, that's very different from the Peacemaker version where she got into a very fatal plane crash. But I think that could be an easy cover-up story as for what actually happened. When you look further in the comics, Sasha Bordeaux and Batman's paths cross once again when Bordeaux realizes that the government agency she's working for is corrupt. And she gives Batman the information to try and come in and save the day. When Batman does this, they have a beautiful kissing moment. They save the day, and then Bordeaux gets captured. So I think Bordeaux is going to give Batman some information. He's going to come save Peacemaker in the other dimension, and it's going to be one big happy Bat family. Maybe Robin will show up too. Side note, Bordeaux also has a relationship with Mr. Terrific in the comics, so that could be the guy as well. But I want Batman, so I wanted to say Batman.
So what do you think?
Who will be the big reveal?
Will it be Lex Luthor and Superman?
Or Blue Beetle or Batman?
Let us know in the comment section down below.
And let us know what type of content you want us to cover.
We love all sorts of media, and we're just trying to find our niche on YouTube.
Thank you again for watching.
Peace.
Maker.